Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. Today I've got the MSI Gaming X GeForce GTX 1070 unboxing and overview. Why should you watch this video? Why should you care? Do you want to play all current games at 1440p resolution at 60 plus frames per second with every detail cranked to the max? You came to the right place because this card will do it. Not only will the 1070 do it, but this one is factory overclocked by almost 200 megahertz. Great performance. Now, do you want to play at high refresh rates? Maybe you're not happy with 60 frames per second and you want to do 100 or 144. No problem. At 1080p, at high detail, you'll get 100 plus frames per second all day long. In some games, you'll get up to 150 frames per second. You can play on one of those high refresh rate monitors. As far as 1440p and high refresh rate, if you've got a 144 hertz refresh rate 1440p monitor, you should really be on a 1080. That kind of monitor at that resolution, at that frame rate, needs the best card on the market. At 100 hertz, if you have a 100 hertz 1440p, you can do it, but you'll be somewhere between medium to high detail. Another option is multi-monitor gaming. Now this will work great with 3 1080p monitors in NVIDIA Surround. You can hook up 3 monitors to this and actually turn on a feature called NVIDIA Surround, which will turn it into one large desktop. There is bezel correction built in, so it will overlap so the image won't be askewed from the bezels, and you can play games on all 3 monitors at the same time. If you've never done it before, it's pretty impressive. At high detail, in most games, you should get 60 plus frames per second on 3 1080p monitors with this card. Very impressive. Now, I've reviewed other 1070 cards before on my channel, specifically several EVGA cards, my favorite of which was the EVGA Superclocked card. Why should you consider the MSI? Do you like the black and red color scheme? Yes, it really is that simple. The EVGA Superclocked 1070 runs at almost 1800 megahertz in boost mode. The MSI Gaming X runs at almost 1800 megahertz. In its overclocked mode, they both perform exactly the same. The EVGA is black, gray, and white color scheme. This one is black and red. Pick your favorite color, pick your favorite manufacturer. They both have the same performance. Now, speaking of performance, throughout this video, I'm going to be putting up numbers here that will cycle as I unbox to give you something to watch. In full disclosure, those numbers are from the EVGA Superclocked card, not the Gaming X. The Superclocked is actually installed in one of my machines at home. I've been playing with it. There's no need to rerun them on another card. They are exactly the same performance. You'll never notice the difference. Pick the card that you like the looks of the most. It really comes down to that. Side note, this is the Gaming X. Just to be clear, there's 2 gaming cards for sale on both Amazon and Newegg. There's the Gaming and the Gaming X. The Gaming X is the overclocked card for this small additional premium. It's a few dollars difference just by the Gaming X, not the Gaming. So let's take a look at this and open it up, shall we? This is a quantum leap in performance over the previous generation cards. Even if you have a 970, and I'll do a comparison with the 970 in a future video, but in comparison to the former 970s or 960s, or even older, the old 770s, the performance jump of the new 1000 line cannot be overstated. Let me give you one specific example. Grand Theft Auto 5, 1440p, GTX 970, every detail set to very high. Crank all the details up as high as you go. You'll get about 35, 38 frames per second on a GTX 970. You'll get about 65 frames per second on the GTX 1070. That's almost a 30 frame per second improvement. It's not quite double, but it's darn close. So it's a huge performance improvement over the previous generation. If I sound excited, it's because I am. Most of the time when a new product comes out, you get a 20% boost, maybe if you're lucky a 25% boost in performance. With some product generations, you only get 10%. To have an 80+% performance increase from the 970 to the 1070, that's massive. This is a remarkable product, worth every penny of the $450 this costs. If you're looking for something in this price range, The 1070 is amazing. So when we open it up, you'll look inside. It's a cardboard box. Some of these have fancier packaging than others. But I do the unboxings because some people like to see unboxings. That's fine. Here we go. We'll stick that right there. And there is a cardboard box. You may not be able to see it, but silkscreen, well, it's not silkscreen, it's printed, but it's in very black here. It just says MSI Gaming Series. Yeah. What's in here? Probably a driver CD. Or not. Oh, yep. There's the driver CD. Add a sticker with their twin, Frozer thermal design. Now, one nice thing about this card, those fans should not spin when you're not gaming. They'll only turn on when you're gaming, so it's a very quiet card. These modern cards, it's a big fold-out poster installation guide, which I won't bother to open. And there's nothing else in here. That's not very exciting. Very quiet fans, very good design. I've been very impressed lately with MSI's cards. For a long time, if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I have traditionally been an EVGA fan, and I still am. I took the 2 EVGA cards I've unboxed. They're sitting in 2 machines at home. I've been playing with them. But I've also played with a couple of MSI cards recently. They're very nice, so I don't have any problem with these. I will, and most likely, be keeping this one. Let's see, what is this? Thank you for choosing MSI. They want you to register. Fair enough. Nothing else in the box but a foam fitting insert. It comes in an anti-static bag with a piece of tape on it. Carefully peel that off. Wow, that's a big card. Holy smokes. Actually, you know what? I'm impressed by the size of this. I'll tell you what, this actually is closer to the For the Win edition from EVGA than the Superclock. That actually is about the size of the For the Win edition. It does have a very nice back plate with the Dragon, I should turn it over, with the Dragon logo on it and the MSI logo down here. That's a very nice back plate. I like this. That's very nice. There is a sticker over this, over the fan, you just need to take that off. And I'll stick that in my sticker pile. What that sticker was saying is these are 0-speed fans when the card's not under load. If you're not gaming, or even if you're doing light gaming like Minecraft or League of Legends, these fans may not spin. They will only start spinning when the card gets hot. And in Windows, that won't be the case, so they won't move at all. Look at that card. Look, that's actually really nice looking. Now this red here, let me be clear, this is fixed red plastic. That's not going to change. This card does have full RGB lighting. These here can light up. The MSI logo up here on the top can light up. The MSI logo on the back does not. That is silk screened on. And the Dragon logo on the back does not light up. So it is RGB only on 2 sides, on this side and here. I will comment regarding RGB lighting. What color schemes, what are you going to set the colors to if you care, other than to white, black, or red? Well, I guess black would be off because you've got red plastic on here you can't change. It is heavy. There are, I believe, 5 or 6 heat pipes. You can see them up here twisted around. Weight-wise, that's heavy. That's a big, heavy heatsink. But that's a good thing. You want it to be big. You're buying a $450 video card. You want a good, big, heavy heatsink. You want lots of heat pipes. Those fans are very smooth. As I spin them with my fingers, and you may think, what's the big deal? Well, you want fans that don't wobble and that don't rock a lot, that just spin really, really nicely. I like that. You do have your SLI connector up here. Note, with the 1000 series, NVIDIA only supports 2-way SLI now, which is fine because nobody in real world should ever be using 3 or 4 cards. If you are doing multi-monitor or you're doing high-resolution gaming, you should get one of the new high-bandwidth bridges. But if you wanted to do SLI on a single 1440p monitor at high refresh rates, you could use the LED bridge or the older style bridges. I like it. It's got red plastic for the thing. This is the first high-end MSI card I've unboxed. So I did a cheaper one, but this is nice. There are red covers over these ports. Let me talk about those. I'm just marveling at it. It's very nice. I'm very happy with it. Okay, you have a DVI-D port here. What that is now digital only. There's no longer the circuitry for analog, so you shouldn't be with this level card. But if by chance you have a VGA monitor that you were planning on using one of those D-sub to DVI adapters to plug in here, you can't do it anymore. You could do it on the 900 series, but that circuitry is gone. AMD eliminated it years ago in the old 200 series cards, so it's been gone for a couple years there, but now NVIDIA has eliminated it as well. There are active adapters you can use. You can even get a DisplayPort to VGA active adapter. They cost a bit more, the good ones do, but you can't just use the cheap $2 D-sub adapters to plug VGA in. There is one HDMI port down here. It is an HDMI 2.0B port, so it supports 4K at 60 Hz refresh rate. And then there are 3 DisplayPort 1.4s that will actually support up to 120 Hz refresh rate at 4K. Not that that matters because such monitors don't really exist at the moment, and of course you could never game at that, so it doesn't matter, but it's nice to have them now because it makes it a standard, so going forward in the future it'll be there. Power connectors. Now I'll tell you, this is something I am of mixed feelings about. If you are an overclocker and you want to overclock your card higher, no worries, this is a good card to do it. These are large fans with a large heat sink. You do have a good power delivery system. There's an 8-pin and a 6-pin power connector. The downside is you need a big enough power supply to have an 8-pin and a 6-pin power connector. Now most decent power supplies are going to handle that. If you even get a basic EVGA 500 watt power supply, it's going to cover you in both regards. You wouldn't put this into an inexpensive pre-built machine anyway. The only issue with having both ports is if you wanted to put 2 of these into SLI, now you need an even bigger power supply because you need to have 4 PCI Express power connectors. The plus side is these 2 connectors plus the motherboard port will give you up to 300 watts of power. Here's the thing. The standard power rating for this card is 170 watts on the reference version. This probably will do 200, 220 watts. A single 8-pin would have probably been enough, but you'll need 2 PCI Express power connectors for what it's worth. Let's see if I can get that to stand up. Almost. Should you buy this card? Yes, if you're covering any of those things I was mentioning at the beginning of this video. 1440p at ultra detail at 60 Hz, 1080p at 100 to 144 frames per second because you have a high refresh rate monitor, or 1080p on 3 monitors because you want to do ultra widescreen gaming. If you want to do 1440p at high refresh rate, I'd honestly recommend a 1080. I think if you're going to have a nice monitor like that, it's worth spending a little extra money. You can, as an option, SLI 2 of these, which will cost more than a 1080, but for games that support it, give you more performance. Those are all options. Links to this card and to the other cards I mentioned, to all my 1070 videos will be in the description below. Go check those out. This is currently for sale at normal prices. Don't overpay. If it's out of stock, check the other place, but both Amazon and Newegg in the beginning of August when I filmed this video had this in stock for $450, which is all you should pay for it. Links to both of those in the description below. Like the video if you like it. Don't if you don't. Remember to subscribe to my channel. It's the big huge red button down there. Now, while I've gotten some numbers off of the former card that I had already, the EVGA Superclocked, I will be doing live game demos, and I'll do them with all the different cards that I've played with just to show you what they look like. So subscribe to my channel to get updates in the future to when those videos come out, where I actually put a computer up here and play it live rather than just giving you performance numbers. I like live demos more than that. Questions, comments, thoughts, feedback, suggestions, those go in the comment section below the video. Let me know what you think. Are you an MSI fan? Do you prefer EVGA, or do you want something else, Gigabyte or Zotac? Let me know which card you prefer. And of course, as always, if you want to support this channel, if you like the videos that I make, please consider using the links in the video description below. They will help me out, and I would certainly appreciate your support. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.